Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to our living room for casual conversation.
This is week 5, maybe? Week 6? 7?
It's week 9 of the quarantine.
What day of the week is that? It's Saturday because it's casual conversation.
It is Saturday.
We know that. Welcome back, everyone.
Most of the other days kind of merge together and we never know what day it is. But
how many times did you ask yesterday what day it is? 2 or 3 times.
At least. Yeah. I was very confused yesterday.
But we're back. It's Saturday. It's a glorious day in Cheshire, Connecticut. And we're waiting for the comments to get filled up so we can have a conversation with you guys. We miss you, of course. We're always thinking of you. And let's see what you guys want to discuss this week.
This week was a big week, huh? There's a lot of activity going on.
Tell us, Father.
Well, I mean, with the special concert we had last Sunday.
Oh. How about some likes and hearts for Dan Ferrari?
Yeah, shout out to Dan Ferrari if he's watching. I don't know. Thanks for joining us again and
the May crowning,
offering that special concert for our mothers and our parishioners. And yeah, culminating with the May crowning and his song to Mary. It was top notch. So those who missed it, check it out. It's still on our Facebook, I'm sure, and on our YouTube. It was a great hour to be together in praise and worship, and had a little fun with Dan too, but about his recording covers.
Remember how he looked with the white jacket?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of.
He's fun.
All right, so Father, we have a lot that we can talk about, but we already have a question. Guess who it's from?
I'm going to guess Patrick Mitchell.
It is 2 questions.
His usual style.
Patrick Mitchell, thanks for tuning in. Thank you, everyone who's already signed on that we didn't give a shout out to, but know that you're in our hearts. And Patrick Mitchell's father actually went live last night, Jim. And he was live last night, so I'm asking questions, like what you guys had for dinner, just kind of like they do to us, you know? Not one response.
Come on, Jim.
Jim's wife, Donna, had a side text me, answering the questions. I'm like, Jim's live. He's supposed to be answering these things live.
Co-chair of the Pastoral Council.
Should have been live. You don't know how to go live, don't go live.
I like that. You don't know how to go live, don't do it. But now today his son is going to try to redeem him with a 2-part question.
2 questions. Ready for one?
Let's do it.
What was your favorite class back when you were in high school 70 years ago? Ouch.
70 years ago.
That's what he wrote to us.
Father, I feel like I'm a young man, Father.
Well, you're not that young, but you're not that old either.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jeepers creepers, Patrick.
Maybe he was referring that question to his father. Jim, were you in school 7 years ago?
Wowzers.
No, you weren't even in school 7 years ago.
Father, is this going to be a shots fired kind of casual conversation
maybe.
where we're going to get real into it? All right, Patrick setting the tone for the day. What was your favorite?
Your favorite subject, Father, when you were in high school?
English, for sure. Reading, writing, the study of literature, for sure. What about you?
Spanish.
Nice.
Yeah, I had a great teacher in high school, and she was great. She was mean. A lot of kids didn't like her, but she really made us learn the language, so it was good.
Father, you have good Spanish to this day.
Well,
you use
it struggles, but it's there.
It's there.
Yeah. And so that's the answer. Number 2, how were people back in the book of Genesis able to live for hundreds of years?
I don't know, Patrick. Get in a time machine and go figure it out.
Patrick always has those biblical school.
He does. He does.
That's yearnings to learn more about the Bible.
Yeah, that's a great question. I don't know an exact answer. We know that the characters in the Old Testament, Genesis, are described as living hundreds and hundreds of years. But I would say that since they were closer to paradise, Eden, sinlessness, than we are, we live in generations of accumulated sin, remember, paradise was perfect. Human race was perfect. Everything was physically perfect. It makes sense to me that they lived back then closer, and they lived longer because they were so much closer to perfection than we are. That's just my guess. I don't know.
I think it's a great guess.
Who cares?
Yeah, but really. By the grace of God go I.
Right.
All right. Welcome to everyone that's signing on. We're up to 50 people. That's great. Thank you for everyone. Here's a question from Joan Brzezinski.
Hi, Joan.
And it's one of those questions, Father, that if she read the bulletin already on our parish app or online,
Let me guess.
she would know that we don't know the answer.
Do we know when we're going to open confirmation, communion? What day is the church going to
Yes,
open?
her question is, do you have any indication if churches will be open for Mass in the next phase in June?
Joan, we're right with you.
Joan, I already wrote about it. Please check out this weekend's bulletin. The when that everyone's asking is unknown still. So please, as soon as we know, we will communicate it. That leads me to a great point, and that is the best way that we can communicate is if we have your email. So folks, if you haven't given your email when you registered to our parish way back when, if you've been a parishioner for 30 or 40 years and your email's changed, we want to be able to communicate with you effectively and efficiently. And the best way to do that is by sending out a mass email through our database, but we only can do that if we have your email address. So in my article this weekend, I'm asking you to please send in your email address to Mary Beth at office. Her email address is office, OFFICE, at stbridgetcheshire.org. We want everyone's email address so that when these answers come, we can get that out to you via email first and foremost, and then through the media. So,
plus, Father, some people missed the parades that we've had because they hadn't registered their email address with us. So
that's right.
When we have fun surprises coming up in the future, the best way to get a hold of those, to be aware of them, will be email. So send your email addresses in, people. We need them.
Yeah, it'll just help us to be more effective at communicating with you. So we really hope that you'll send those in to Mary Beth so she can update our parish database. Eleanor Winneck, where's your favorite vacation place? Wow, Eleanor, nice question.
Hi, Eleanor.
2 thumbs up for you.
My favorite place to go on vacation is Las Vegas, Nevada, where my brothers live. My 2 brothers, Michael and Andrew. Shout out to you guys. They live there. I just went to see them in February. They built a beautiful house together, and they live there. And I love spending time out there with them and all that Vegas has to offer.
I guess I should follow that up with saying my favorite vacation spot is Los Angeles, Brentwood, where my brother and his family live. But it's too hot there.
Especially now.
So my favorite place to go, if I had a choice, what kind of trip would you like to take? It'd be a golf trip to Florida. I love Florida, whether it's near Boca or Delray Beach, or if it's down south in the Keys. It's just, you can always find beautiful golf courses and wonderful atmosphere down there. Very relaxing. I find it very relaxing. It's only a 2-hour flight, no time change. It's really a convenient kind of vacation for me.
Father, I never traveled with golf clubs. What's that like? Is it a hassle to get it on the plane and through security, or?
Well, if you fly Southwest, you can get 2 bags for free,
including a golf bag.
So your golf bag and your suitcase.
Nice.
It's great. You fly those other airlines and you pay extra. It's like $75.
It sounds like Father's answering the question, what's your favorite airline?
Wow. JetBlue and Southwest, I prefer both. But if I'm going on a golf trip, I try to go Southwest, so my 2 bags are free. Yeah, without a doubt. So I'm sure many others feel that way. And you can get so many different flights to Florida on Southwest and JetBlue.
From Hartford?
Yeah, tons.
Pro tip from your priest.
Tons. Michael Lonergan. Is it true the class in the seminary on the use and rituals around incense is a thurible class? Is that a joke? The incenser is called thurible. I did not take a class titled thurible class. I took a class liturgy.
Oh, I get it. It's a terrible class.
Terrible. Oh. Nice job, Michael.
Likes and hearts for that. I like it.
Rachel Ann Knott is watching now, Father. She sent me a message this morning.
That's your nemesis, Father.
No, we love each other.
No.
We're in a little competition. a healthy competition.
Let's
right,
see what she had
Rachel?
to say. What did
And
she
so
say?
she sent me a message this morning that her mother gave her a new cookbook.
Cookbook, Father. You don't say.
Have you seen me use a cookbook, Father?
Never. It's all up here.
But she has a beautiful cookbook, and it's centered around the lives of the saints.
No way.
So it gives a little history of the saint. It gives you a couple of dishes to make, and I'm guessing there's some prayers in there. And her favorite saint is in there.
Who's her favorite saint?
Philomena.
Saint Philomena.
Yeah, and I thought Saint Bridget of Sweden might be in there, but she's not. Saint Ingrid of Sweden is in there.
Not quite the same.
Not quite the same.
But Father, that's a nice transition to something that we also mentioned in the bulletin this week.
Indeed, I didn't even think of that.
Look
Father.
at that.
Also in Father Roman's pastor's article is a new concept and a new idea that Father and I have come up with, because so often in these casual conversations, y'all are asking what we're making for dinner, what we've had this week, what we've tried, what we like, what we don't like. So Father, what did we decide to do?
We are re-debuting the Parish Cookbook.
Dun, 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 dun.
We want everyone to send in recipes. Is it to Rectory?
No, it's to Cookbook.
Oh, a new email address in the life of the
Cookbook,
parish.
one word, at stbridgetcheshire.org. It's in my article. We want your family recipes. We want those secret recipes. We want to put it all together so our parish can enjoy some cooking time.
Yeah, and I wonder what Rachel Ann Knott is going to submit to the cookbook.
Probably her meatball recipe, but she can't until after the contest.
Right, that's true.
Right, Rachel? She says yay.
Poor Rachel.
We're also have another thing going on in the parish that I announced this weekend.
Tell me.
Tell
us.
Art contest.
Christmas.
Christmas is coming, believe it or not.
It's too soon.
We in your parish staff are already planning for Advent and Christmas. And one of the things that we've done the last couple of years is solicit artwork from the children of our parish. They have to be school-age children, whether they're from the school or from religious education, doesn't matter. They're all eligible as long as they're school-age to submit artwork. And the pastoral staff then looks at all of these images and chooses the one that will be our Christmas card for the parish this year. So we're accepting artwork until June 30th, and that can be sent into the rectory. You can drop it off in the mailboxes. You could use the mailbox at our front door. There's 2 newspaper boxes that seem to be the way we're communicating with people lately between the rectory and the church. You could drop them off in either location. You can call and let us know they're there, and we'll go out to the box to pick them up. Or you could just leave them at the door. June 30th. Let's see what kids come up with this year for our Christmas card.
Plus parents, hey parents, you want to kill an hour with your kids in this quarantine, put them in front of a piece of construction paper with some crayons and say, you got to draw a card for the church. Hey, we're trying to help you guys, parents, during quarantine.
Could actually count as an art lesson, don't you think?
You can get credit for it at school. Sister Jeanne d'Arc, if you're watching.
We'll have to get her to
let's
put
do
out something about that.
What else, Father? What else do we have?
Francis Mitchell has a question. Do you think Jesus forgave Judas?
It's a great question.
It's a phenomenal question. What do you think, Francis? What do we know about Jesus? All merciful.
Yeah. The difference between Judas and Peter was that they both betrayed him, but only Peter asked for forgiveness.
Right.
If Judas had approached Jesus for forgiveness, it's in the Lord's nature to forgive. If you guys ever read the Divine Comedy by Dante, this epic poem, Judas is at the center of the pit of hell in the story, and it's because he never asked for forgiveness. He despaired of God's mercy. So the point of the story is that even worse than his betrayal of Jesus was his presuming that Jesus wouldn't forgive him, and that's why he's the worst sinner of all time, according to Dante. So I think he would have forgiven him, of course.
Yeah. I mean, you have to ask for forgiveness in order to be forgiven, but we don't know what happened in purgatory.
You never know. You never know. God is merciful.
The answer is unknown, I think, definitively.
It's a good question.
But we would say Jesus is all merciful. So if Judas had a reflection of his life and realized that he went wrong and apologized, sought mercy, I'm sure he was receiving it. And Francis answers he does think so.
For sure.
Thanks for responding. Mary Ellen Montefusco, shout out to Mary Ellen and all our first responders, all those working in hospitals, doctors and nurses, anesthesiologists, everybody. Thank you so much for all that you're doing. And she wants to know, did you have a defining moment that had you answer the call to the priesthood? I think we've answered that over the course of the last few months, but certainly mine was not like a defining moment, like I got hit by a bolt of lightning or anything, but it was more a desire to see if that was what God was calling me to, because others were telling me that I would make a good priest, and I had a great pastor at the time who was a great example. So I wouldn't say there was a defining moment, but it was an opportunity to give it consideration.
And Father, that story of your life brings up a very important point for any of our parishioners who are young men discerning the priesthood, or anyone who knows a young man discerning the priesthood. You cannot truly discern the priesthood until you enter the seminary. So if you've been thinking about becoming a priest, or this is something that's been on your heart, talk to the vocations director of the Archdiocese, because once you're in the seminary, then you can begin the process of seeing what God wants for your life. I think it's important also to remember that just because a man goes to seminary doesn't mean he's going to become a priest. Sometimes the Lord leads men on really circuitous journeys to become a better husband and father. That's what happened to Dan Ferrari. That's what happened to Dan Ferrari.
Case in point.
Yeah. So
guys have actually been in seminary all the way right before ordination, and then discerned out.
And I think I'll just add quickly, Father, in our seminary where I went in DC, when a man discerned out, he wasn't, when he left formation for the priesthood, he wasn't, ridiculed. That guy couldn't make it. Actually, we had a party for him with whiskey and cigars to celebrate, like, you have finally come to peace of mind, and the Lord is calling you to something else, and now go get it. Go begin the new adventure of your life. So seminary is all about finding out what's going to make you the most happy, not about, definitely trying to accomplish something that someone's set up for you. So think about it, boys.
Mark Izzo has a question.
Yes, Mark.
How has our mascot, Fenway, adapted to the pandemic, staying at home, not seeing our students? What do you think, Father?
I would say that Fenway Romans has everything he will ever need in life, and he is very well taken care of, and he's adjusting quite fine. What do you know him a little better than I?
Yeah, I mean, in the beginning, he was kind of trying to figure out why we were both around all the time. But now he's gotten into a new routine and enjoys to go for WALKs. Can't say that word just yet because we're going later, but I don't want him to know that yet. And he does miss the students very much, though. That's such a part of his everyday life, is to go down there every morning and see them. And he does miss them, but he got to see them on Tuesday, some of them.
That's right.
We had a reverse parade for our teachers, put on a reverse parade where they were socially distant on the church property, school property, and the families came through in their cars and drove through. So Fenway got to see a lot of the kids. Some of them even had signs, "We miss you, Fenway," which was cool.
He got a lot of praise, yeah.
He did get a couple of things.
But although, Father, last night you mentioned he didn't have a great night.
Now, last night he woke me up at 3:15 and made a sound like he was hurt. So I got out of bed, and I was no sooner on my two legs, and he had taken my spot in the bed, telling me that he was ready to go for the day, I guess. So he got moved back to his spot so that I could get a couple more hours of sleep.
You think he just tricked you to get at the better spot?
Yeah.
He's very...
I think he thought we were ready, like we were done. We had gone to bed early last night. Early for me.
So he was rested up and ready to go.
He was ready.
But not you.
Not me. No. But then I got up a couple hours later.
That's good.
Did my routine, exercise, haircut.
You had your monthly
nice job.
You had your monthly good night's sleep.
My monthly good night's sleep. And now I'm ready to go. All right. So thanks, Mark, for that question. There's a Michael Federico.
Oh boy, let's see this one.
I think yesterday he was asking how your hair is still black and there's no grays.
And to which you responded.
We confirmed that you're coloring your hair, we all believe.
They wish.
It doesn't get that black, Father, without shoe polish.
They wish. All of you.
Michael says, shout out to Victoria with her work behind the scenes and always naming the bell, which leads to a question for Victoria.
Whoa!
Coming from a woman that wants to live a religious life, what are your thoughts or views on women not being able to be priests?
Great question. Fair question.
Is Victoria going to come out?
Our first Victoria question. Victoria,
do you want to answer that?
come on in live.
Come on in.
Hi, everyone.
Oh my God.
Hi, sorry, I'm eating lunch with my roommates. So.
Lunch. You started out and questioned.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, shoot, am I gonna have to come on here? This is actually interesting, Michael, because Father Federico and I have been discussing this recently and researching. So, well, my thoughts are that the church has said definitively that only men can be priests, and John Paul II even said that the church doesn't have the power to change that, and it has to do with priests are fathers. That's really what it comes down to, and they represent Jesus, who was a man. So.
Victoria, share what you and I talked about how the feminine gift in the church has been neglected.
Mm-hmm.
So when women come to seek positions positions in the church, they only find masculine roles. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, like I said, it's something I've been thinking about. So like Father said, like there is this sense that the role of women, and especially like the feminine qualities of the church, has kind of been lost. So that does need to be rediscovered. And I realized as I've been thinking about this that like there's a way in which when a woman is like fully living her authentic femininity, like she doesn't want to be a priest. And like the feminine dimension of the church just means that women are more geared towards like relationship and building community and like centering in prayer instead of being focused on kind of doing all these things and like all these activities. So we just need to recover like the contemplative dimension of the church.
What do you say to people who feel are always in the negative? Because women can't become priests, they don't have a role.
I say that if you're so focused on wanting to do what the men do, we're going to lose what you're actually supposed to be doing and whatever your particular mission is in the church and women in general.
Bravissimo. Thanks, Victoria.
You're welcome.
Let you know if we get another question, or you'll see it before we do, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Thank you, Victoria.
Go back to your lunch.
Okay. Bye, everyone.
Great question, Michael Federico.
Yes, and thank you to Victoria for coming on. John Alston, have either of you kept track of your seminary colleagues? You have, certainly.
Very much so. I was only ordained about 10 months ago, so I'm still on a group text with my 5 best friends from seminary, and we talk almost every day, if not every day. And in fact, we're planning our first vacation together for October, and we're going to go down to Charleston, South Carolina, where one of my best friends from seminary lives. And we're going to rent out a house for 5 days and hang out and say mass together and just catch up. So very much so. Father?
Yeah, I mean, in the beginning, our first 5 years, we were really close. We got together like every couple of months, but most of us were in the Boston area because I went to school in Boston. We've experienced some death. 3 of our classmates have died since we've been ordained. Another one had a massive stroke. So it's just, those are the moments that we get to see each other. But other than that, we kind of try to keep in touch with each other by text or phone. But not as often, certainly not as often as we were.
As your 17 years. Yeah. It's interesting. You can swap notes about what's it like at your parish. What are you guys doing that's working? And you can get like little glimpses of productive stuff from all over the country based on where your seminary buddies are assigned.
Carrie Chaconis wants to know how big that water jug is. And do you actually finish it daily?
This is our first direct comment about the water jug. We've had a lot of indirect comments. Thank you, Carrie. This is a gallon of water. I specifically use it and bring it because it is so obnoxious. It started off as my New Year's resolution to drink more water. In the beginning of January, I drank a gallon a day. And it even gives you the little time of like where you should be based on how much you're drinking. But now, what are we in? February? No, June? May. I certainly don't drink a gallon a day. I probably drink half of this, or a third, or 2/3, I should say.
You may be able to tell that there's only like a quarter in the bottom, but that's only because you put enough in to get through the conversation.
Just a little bit. Thanks for asking.
He does carry it around, though. I'll give him credit. Carries it around a lot at the house and moves it from his desk to the kitchen, back to his desk, and people see it being moved, so people think he's drinking all that water.
It's all an elaborate act.
That's right.
To just get attention.
Do you want to talk about when you tried to wash it out this week, Bob?
I wash it out once a week with soap and water, and I think someone thought that I was going to drink the soapy water that was inside of it, which says very little about like my expected, my life expectancy if I'm drinking soap and water. But all's well that ends well.
Amen. Marissa Smith, what are your favorite places to travel? Well, someone already asked our favorite vacation spot. Las Vegas for Father, Florida for me. Other places you like to travel?
One of the coolest places I've been is Switzerland. That was I went there when I was in high school on a little tour of Europe. I've been to Haiti twice. That's been a fascinating and life-changing place. I would love to go to Ireland. I think that might be my next big trip. What about you?
Ireland's okay. I've been there.
Okay.
If you like beer, it's a great place. I don't, so it's not.
Right.
And the food is nothing to write home about.
Sure.
Italy. North, south, central, wherever, anywhere. It's just phenomenal. Israel.
That's where we got to go.
Israel is life-changing. I've been there twice now, once as a seminarian, once as a priest. It's just a miraculous experience, really.
Right. Cool.
It really, people that go just feel the difference when they come home with hearing the scriptures and feeling like they can visualize where Jesus was when he said those words.
And you said Mass and all these locations that were in Jesus' life.
It was amazing. Yeah, it was cool. I had been there as a seminarian, as I said, but to be there as a priest was much different. Yeah.
Sweet. Good question. Thank you.
Donna, excuse me if I say your last name wrong, Isenstadt?
Sounds right.
Wants to know, how does one become a Eucharistic minister? By contacting me.
Great question.
Send me an email, frromans@stbridgetcheshire.org. Then we can have a conversation and get you on the list. We always need more. Thank you so much, especially when we get back to normalcy. I put that in quotes. We do, once the virus is behind us and we have a vaccine and life is somewhat back to normal, we do distribute Holy Communion under both species traditionally here. At least the last couple of years we have, and so we would need extra hands on deck to get that done. So thank you. A lot of shout outs to Victoria. Congratulations. Great answer. Rachel Ann, Sandy Romans, hi mom. Lynn Krieg, Mark Izzo, what an excellent answer, Victoria. Donna says I missed her question, but I just answered it, Donna. Rita Panchard, who's down in South Carolina, has said that her parish down there has opened up to persons up to 65. We old folk are not allowed.
We have heard every possible configuration for opening up the church during our conversations with priests, and we've never heard that. Age cap.
Yeah, well, so this is the thing. Even when we do open, the governor's still going to be telling people over 70 not to leave their homes. Of course, just like in the ice storms and the tornado callings, we get all these people that come to church, and they're the people that really should stay home and be safe. Mostly our elderly, and they're the ones that are going to be here, I'm sure, the day we open up. And even though the governor's telling them that they should stay home for it because they're in that high risk group. So I know my mom and dad themselves are struggling with that. We will not let them leave, although they have a couple of times. But, for their own safety, they should be staying home. Lynn Krieg, fathers, what words can you give to the many students and people who are so disappointed about cancellations of graduations, weddings, or even families who couldn't have funerals? Wow. Well, Lynn, that's a great question. All I can say is that, we're all in this together, that God's walking this journey with us. And while it's disappointing that things aren't happening as they normally would, hopefully we can all find ways in which to celebrate those significant moments. So, we ourselves here at St. Bridget's School are planning to have some type of graduation. How that will look, when it will happen is unknown, but we're going to do something to celebrate our graduates. We're certainly going to be celebrating First Holy Communion, whether it's, a small class of 10 with just their parents in the church, or if it's bigger than that, who knows at this point. Confirmation, same thing. The Archbishop's given permission to those who had scheduled confirmations during this time of pandemic to the pastors to confer the sacrament of confirmation on his young people. So we'll be able to do that. We could do that in small groups. But, when is the question, and we don't know the answer to that. Certainly, weddings have been an issue. A number of weddings that we've had, a number have rescheduled for next year. Some are even having their sacramental marriage now and then having a reception a year from now. So I like that because that shows that the sacrament's more important to them than the party. I love that.
What a novel idea.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Beautiful. And thank you to the young couples that are doing that.
You've done 2 of those already.
Done 2, and I got 2 in June and 2 in July that I know. So,
Father, can I say one thing about that?
yeah.
To Lynn, great question. I want to say something specifically to the young people who had their graduations canceled. I want to say that that stinks, but it's a very important lesson for your life. The lesson is that life is not fair, and that more often than not, you will not get your way, and things that you rightfully deserve probably won't go as well as you expect them to. And the sooner that you can accept that life is not fair, the happier you'll be for the rest of your life.
And I think we've addressed the families with the funerals.
I think
talking about
that's a different story. So
yeah.
we've done that.
Patty Flynn Harris. 2 things. Will praying the rosary at 1 p.m. be scheduled for May? And have you watched The Chosen that's been posted on Facebook? Certainly, we can be praying the rosary. We already have this week's schedule done, so we'll have to do it the following week.
It's a fine idea.
But we could do that perhaps on Wednesday instead of Eucharistic adoration. We can do.
We'll figure it out.
The rosary.
Yeah. Certainly in the month of May.
And I have not watched The Chosen that's been posted on Facebook. Have you?
A couple people have sent me it. I guess it's a religious, I don't know if it's on Netflix. It's supposed to be a religious show. I haven't seen it yet, but a lot of people have been saying I should check it out. So thanks, Patty.
Margaret Higgins doesn't like my comments about Ireland. She says, Ireland is awesome. People are the most friendly.
Father,
I didn't say they weren't friendly. I just said they don't know how to cook.
Father stirred up a hornet's nest.
Sorry, Margaret. You know you're loved. Anthony Federico.
Let's see what Dad has to say.
Is Father Federico planning anything special for his 1-year ordination to the priesthood? Might the Jersey boys come back?
Hi, Dad. I'll leave it to you and Mom and everyone else to plan my 1-year party since you guys are so good at that. My brother Michael brought in a Jersey Boys Broadway group to perform at my ordination reception because Michael can't just do things normally. So we had to have like the official Jersey Boys cast come perform. So maybe we'll bring back the Jersey Boys for the 1 year. But I think we should save it for like the 20 year or something big.
Or at least 10.
10 maybe.
Yeah.
But if you guys want to throw me a party for my 1 year on June 22nd.
I had a party on my 10.
10?
Yeah.
I'll take all the parties you guys want to throw. So.
Oh boy.
That's on you, Dad.
Here we go. John Mayano wants to know, what sports did you do or enjoy playing? Did you and do you? Do you enjoy playing? Well, we certainly play basketball on Sunday nights with the men over 30. It's always an interesting and fun time. As a child, I played basketball, baseball, and soccer. And then in high school, I did track and field.
And golf? You're a big golfer?
I like to golf now. Golf and basketball now.
Yeah, I played hockey and I swam growing up. Played a little league baseball. Now I'm retired and unathletic.
So this week we also announced in the bulletin, page 3, a new committee in the parish. For far too long, we have not done anything about our cemetery. And as you know, in the last few months, we've been getting some complaints.
And rightfully so.
From families who have plots there. and in hopes of eliminating those complaints and in ensuring that our cemetery remains a comforting and prayerful environment for people to visit the graves of their loved ones. I decided that it was best to form a cemetery advisory committee to look over the rules and regulations that we have for the cemetery and to edit those and change those so that we can start implementing them. The rules and regulations have not been enforced since 2 pastors ago. So we're talking 20-something years. And it's evident as you walk through the cemetery that people have gotten away with things that are against the rules and regulations. So the committee will be evaluating those rules and regulations. Very grateful to all the members of the committee. They're all parishioners. Our own parish trustee, Candy Nesbitt, is going to chair that committee. And she's going to be assisted by Sandra Pascaloni David and Leslie Marinero and Brad Isabel and Dan Ford from Alderson Ford Funeral Home. So they're all parishioners. They all have relatives in that cemetery. Dan, of course, is in that cemetery more than you and I are together, I think. So they all have an interest in making sure that it is a comforting and prayerful place. So I'm grateful to all of them for their willingness to serve the parish in that capacity.
Shout out to the new committee. Welcome aboard. You get your little pin on the first of the month. We'll send it to you.
More importantly, you'll get invited to the Christmas party.
That's right. One of the hottest tickets in town. Hey, you want to get involved in the parish? It comes with some benefits.
There you go. Open house at the rectory. Michael Lonergan, more seriously than my previous post. I saw a quote from Fulton Sheen. There are not 100 people in the United States who hate the Catholic Church, but there are millions who hate what they wrongly perceive the Catholic Church to be. Sadly, these wrong perceptions often seem to be held by Catholics. What do you think is the best way for Catholics to help correct these perceptions? Wow, it's a good question.
A very good question. Michael, I think 2 things come to mind. One is for us to live our faith joyfully and to not be ashamed of being Catholic, to be unapologetically Catholic, and 2, to know what we're talking about. So to study the teachings of the church, especially on difficult issues, so that when we get in conversations with people, we don't have to have degrees in theology, but just be conversant in the teachings of the church and why the church teaches what it teaches. All we need to do is present the truth, and the Holy Spirit will do the rest. We don't have to convince people of anything. A quote comes to mind in response to your quote. St. Augustine said, "The Catholic Church is like a lion. You don't have to defend a lion. You just have to let it out of its cage." It's pretty cool. Just present the truth, and the Holy Spirit will do the rest. That's my thought, Father.
And I would say that, I think that's the point of a lot of the programs and activities that we offer here. Bible studies, book clubs, adult education talks. It's to help you all come to a clearer understanding of the essentials of our faith so that you can communicate them. It's the whole reason that we started the apologetics column in the bulletin that Father and Victoria worked so hard on. It's to help us to understand how we can communicate what we believe. And so what I would say to you, you want to help get rid of these misconceived notions, get more involved in your life of our parish, learn more about your faith so that you're stronger when it comes to people asking you questions in order for you to respond properly.
Well said. Good question, Michael. The Michaels have been crushing it with these questions today.
Yeah.
Among other people.
So do you have any thing on your list over there, Father?
Are we out of questions already?
Yeah, the Blyers haven't signed on yet either, surprisingly.
We can talk about
We haven't
this.
seen many likes and hearts for anything. Even Victoria, when she gave her answer.
Can we get Victoria some likes and hearts, please?
We would have got some.
She did a phenomenal job, and I hope she enjoyed her lunch. Victoria, can you also post in the comments as your likes and hearts come in what indeed you had for lunch today? You said that you were having lunch, but you didn't tell us what it was, and we like to discuss food here on Casual Conversation.
We love to discuss food.
Look at those likes and hearts.
Oh, the Blyers are there. No, is that the Roasters?
Good job. That's all for Victoria.
No, that's the Berkowitzes. There we go. Look at this. Look at this. Nice.
We can see her, Father. Look, we can see her typing.
She is. Sandy Romans has a question.
Let's do it.
Did Fenway have a good birthday?
Tuesday
Tuesday was his 6th birthday. I think he had a great day. He got to have a WALK. And at the end of the day, because Tuesdays are my long day, like Thursdays are yours, with a lot of Zoom meetings going on, book studies and Bible studies. So at the end of that day, he got his ice cream.
He loved the ice cream.
Yes.
We may have gotten ice cream too this week.
We might have had ice cream too. Thank you to Shannon Mitchell for sending us some ice cream from Sweet Claude's. Always a great gift is ice cream fresh from that wonderful place on Route 10 in Cheshire. If anyone happens to be going by it, it's a red building, anytime. Strawberry, it's very nice. Rocky Road. What'd you have?
Chocolate almond fudge.
Almond.
And Jim actually asked the question, what kind of ice cream do you like, in casual conversations, sort of to disguise his way of finding out the way that what ice cream we like, so that his daughter could get it from us from Sweet Claude's.
That's right.
Very clever, you Mitchells.
Victoria just posted, you all are preparing me so well for my hidden life as a cloistered nun. I had a chicken salad sandwich and a banana with almond butter.
Boring.
Almond butter sounds good. Nice job.
Well, that's boring.
Nice.
Because Victoria doesn't have peanut butter. She has almond butter.
Sandy Thomas says something that you always say to me.
What is it?
He's eventually going to know what WALK stands for.
Sandy, you and I are on the same page. Father uses those 4 letters around the house because if he hears the actual word, Fenway will freak out. But we say it fairly, a good amount, such that Fenway is probably learning how to read and spell in his mind. So yeah, he's going to definitely discern it. It's just a matter of time. He already knows when Father picks out a certain pair of shoes, what that means. He goes crazy. He's pretty smart.
He does. What do we have this week to eat, Father, that you really like?
Well, what did we have this week? I can remember that I cooked one night this week. You cooked a couple nights, but the thing that I made was chicken burritos.
Mm-hmm.
Those were okay. You made, was that turkey? Was that last week?
We had barbecue chicken. We had a turkey dinner last Saturday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Barbecue
Went
chicken.
to Santiago. You guys played checkers.
Yes.
Chessers.
We're so into checkers in this house, and our priest friend who comes over, and we have a socially distant, checkers game, and he, in his, endearing Portuguese accent, at first called it chesters instead of checkers. So now we only call it chesters. But also, Father, we've been playing a fair bit of setback lately.
We have, yeah.
And that has been a lot of fun.
And then that game that he taught us.
A Portuguese version of setback called Sueca.
Sueca. But you take out the
7s
9,
are
8,
more
6, and 5.
And you take those out, and the 7s are powerful.
7s are more powerful than a king. It was very confusing. You need a cheat card. My sister-in-law has this game called Hand and Foot.
Okay.
And whenever we play it, my mother and I always need a cheat card of what's worth what and how you get to where you need to go, because it's so complicated. Unlike setback, high-low jack game. I mean, it's so easy.
Father, other parishes in the state have had setback tournaments outside the pandemic, of course.
I know. We'd have to do that.
That would be so much fun.
We could do that in the gymnasium and still have socially distance.
You guys play setback? Who's the best setback player in our parish? Let me guess, Rachel Knott.
Of course, Rachel and Knott. It's gotta be. Or Patty Flynn Harris.
She's good?
I don't know.
We're going to find out. She seems like a card player.
Celeste McKenzie, is it time to empty the dishwasher? No, I did that when I came downstairs this morning. That's all I do. Load it, unload it, load it, unload it. It feels like we do it 3 times a day.
There was one day during pandemic where you said, hey, you know what I just realized? I didn't do the dishwasher. I didn't run the dishes today. That was like the one day where we had like takeout and leftovers and we didn't dirty a bunch of dishes.
Right. We just used utensils. Yeah. She'll learn walk just like, Carrie Chaconis. Yeah, Fenway's a boy. Thank you. Yes, he will learn WALK just like RIDE. That's another word we can't say in this house either. You got it. Thank you for all the programs offered by the parish. Kathy Mahmood, thank you. Rachel Ann, St. Philomena, lemon Greek chicken. I talked about your cookbook, Rachel, before you signed on, I think. This is what she must be making today because she had bought this is the other thing she messaged me. She had bought all the ingredients for these 2 dishes before she even had the cookbook. Wow, huh?
Rachel Knott. Incredible.
Kathy Mahmood, do you have favorite board games?
We just talked about checkers.
Yeah.
We're learning a little chess too. We're trying to,
Right.
just get the basics of chess. Is a difficult game. I play Settlers of Catan a lot in seminary. I don't know if you guys ever get into that at all. Father, anything? You played that game with your nieces and nephew.
Yeah, I don't know
Family
what it's
game.
called though. It's like a Mad Libs book
Yeah.
for kids, clean version for kids, which is good.
I think Father loves when they say, all right, we're playing.
Yeah, I love that with Zoom with them. Then the game goes on forever.
It's all good fun.
It is. You get to see your niece and nephew. So.
That's right.
Donna, are you getting your food from Peapod? We are not. I am going to the grocery store, but I have made a pact, if you will, or an understanding for myself that I will only go every 2 weeks, and only in a rarity will I break that. But I'm trying to eliminate how many times we go to Stop and Shop. We have plenty of food in our freezers, and every 2 weeks seems to be filling us fine with the vegetables and fruits. So that's been working out quite well. So we're really not using Peapod or Instacart. I've heard horror stories from some people about that Instacart not coming on time and not getting you the right food. So no, we're doing our own. And when in doubt, we always have time to go to BJ's or Costco if we need to get a larger quantity. Phyllis McNeil just checked out your cloister group in Pittsburgh. It's near my niece's home. Oh, that's for Victoria. Victoria, check out that message. Lynn Krieg, setback with 9 and 5. You can bet up to 18. We play that way when we play with the Berkowitzes. I love that way. Father hates that way, or dislikes it strongly, I should say. But yes, we do. I like to play with the 9 and 5, Lynn. Thanks. The other game I like to play is cribbage. I don't know if you play.
Well, we see. I think your mom is referencing.
Oh, my mother.
That.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the one with
I
the
play a lot with the pins.
pegs.
Yeah.
I never
Yeah.
played that.
Yeah, I used to play it a lot, especially when I was in Glastonbury and went to the Irish American home. See, Margaret?
There's the Irish.
There's my Irish. Went to Irish American home a couple nights a week to play in cribbage tournaments or groups.
Sure.
So it was
That's
fun.
cool.
Yeah. We're out of questions, Father. What else we got on our list that we want?
We could talk about Thursday.
Thursday. Do you know what Thursday is? Here's the big surprise.
It's a big day.
It is. It's a solemnity.
Let's see if they know. Who's going to be the first to post?
We're asking. Are you answering?
My guess is going to be Helen Time. She knows what Thursday is.
Oh, for sure. Or Lynn Krieg.
You think she knows what Thursday is?
I do.
Okay. Who's going to be the first?
But nobody's writing. They're not typing.
Remember, we're on a little bit of a delay. So
That's true.
It'll come to us in a second.
We're getting a like here. It's an
Ah,
angry face.
John
Eno.
And Margaret just behind him.
Ascension Thursday.
You guys get gold stars. Good job, Catholics.
Now Lynn comes. Mom comes. Nice. Lots of hearts and likes. That's good.
Ascension Thursday.
So we celebrate the Feast of the Ascension. We're one of 2 regions, actually, in the whole United States that still celebrate it on actual Thursday.
I did not know that.
The rest of the country moved the feast, the solemnity, to Sunday in place of the 7th Sunday of Easter. So this Thursday, although you're all dispensed from your obligation to go to Mass because of the pandemic, it is technically a holy day of obligation normally throughout the year, on a normal year, I should say. So we will be doing Mass twice that day. Once will be the normal time slot live from our chapel at 1 o'clock, and the other will be at 4 o'clock. That's the idea, to give the kids time to get their schoolwork done and be able to join in for the Mass. So 1 and 4 o'clock on Thursday.
Shout out to Dr. Testa, who has just logged in and greeted us.
Hey, Dr. Testa. Nice. Thank you for joining us. Our new principal.
New principal of St. Bridget's School.
It was great to see so many welcome her during the parade too.
That's right. She was kind of at the head of the parade, meeting the families a little bit.
Nice.
She's been having Zoom meetings with the teachers as they get to know each other, for their, to get to know each other in their working relationship. That's been great.
Yes, she's been doing the one-on-ones, and we'll have her meet with some of our influential parishioners, people that are involved in the life of the parish that have an impact with the school too, like Jim Thomas with security, the head of the finance council, Frank Lohman, so that she can get to know them as well.
Yeah, she's coming up to speed.
Yeah, it's nice to have this time to be able to bring her up to speed, have this time for her to get to know everyone before she goes full swing.
Rachel has another food-related comment.
She does. Did I miss it?
Always. Tim, Rachel's husband, wants to know what your go-to stadium food is. I will say that mine's pretty straightforward: hot dog and beer, and peanuts. Stadium peanuts, and you can kind of put the shells on the right on the stadium floor, kind of like at the Vic House, which is cool. Kind of reminds me of that. What about you, Father?
Fenway Franks.
Can't go wrong.
Victoria, could you come back on?
I think Victoria's going to need to get her own show, because if you're following the comments, people are.
I think maybe I should just make a video explaining what I'm doing.
Absolutely.
Well, I think the question that's really, really good for everyone to hear the answer to, especially, would be Marissa's question about, can you speak to the different kinds of lifestyles and vows that nuns take? So what's the difference between a cloistered nun and Sister Patricia?
Yeah, so cloistered nuns, which is what I feel called to be, mainly dedicate their days to prayer. There is some work. So like the community that I'm joining, they make altar bread that would be used at Mass. Yeah, and then Sister Patricia is a more active sister. So her life more revolves around direct ministry with people.
So we're going to have to get our altar bread from you guys now?
I was thinking that you should. Yeah.
We support you, right?
Victoria, is this a little outdoor porch that you're sitting on right now?
Yeah. Yes, we're on a porch.
Very cool. We have something like that.
Yeah.
We do. Thanks God.
I definitely think Victoria is going to have to film a video about her discernment process and the community and the life that she's being called to, because there's so many comments about it that it seems to be a need for our people. So
yeah.
I don't know if you have any free time this week.
Or we could do a live like question and answer thing.
That sounds cool. One of the things we're doing right now.
We'll figure it out. I mean, yeah, besides this.
Live with Victoria.
Live with Victoria.
Like it.
Victoria.
Oh, lots of hearts and likes here for that.
I think Victoria is the new star of casual conversation. Look at those
hearts. You got outdone.
Look at these likes and hearts coming in. And very well deserved, too.
Good job, Victoria.
Thanks.
She's said several times that she has been so invaluable during this, getting everything done behind the scenes. So
she's worked countless hours, I know.
My pleasure.
Grateful for it.
Anything else?
Although you took a day off.
Yeah, what's up with that, Victoria?
Oh, no, Dara.
She took an entire day off to herself to rest and relax.
Except you bothered her in the morning.
No way. She warned me like for a week not to bother her.
I don't remember. We talked about something. I don't remember what it was. Yeah, it was him. Definitely.
But Dr. Testa wants to know mustard or ketchup.
On a hot dog, for me, mustard. What about you?
Ketchup, without doubt.
Hey, what's the difference between ketchup and catsup? Because Dr. Testa typed it catsup. Or is that just the
Probably
way?
the spell check.
Yeah.
But what would that be?
I don't know. Someone do a little research on that. Or is it just like two different regional ways of pronouncing it? I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't know either.
So I like mustard. You like catsup?
Catsup. Definitely catsup. On everything. Eggs, macaroni and cheese, hamburgers.
Typo from the good doctor.
Typo.
Very good.
Thanks for clarifying. All right. Any other questions out there?
Oh, your mom is telling us that it's another brand of ketchup.
Yeah, maybe so.
We could mention the Knights of Columbus scholarship to our
Yes.
high school age and people.
Yes, so the Knights of Columbus Santa Fe Council 2978. I think it's on page like 11 or 12.
I love that you know the bulletin by page number.
Is it? What page is it?
It's 11, Father.
11. On page 11 of this week's bulletin, above the Knights of Columbus corner, is an announcement about their scholarship. And beyond the bulletin this past week, we asked you why your Catholic faith is important to you. And so many of you answered really personal and beautiful reflections on why it's important to you. That's the main essay question for our young people. They're offering a scholarship to anyone going to a Catholic high school or college. And the only requirement is that you're a parishioner and that you're going to a Catholic institution. So please see the bulletin for more details. They're accepting applications now.
June 30th.
Until June 30th. Just like what else are we accepting until June 30th?
The Christmas poster.
That's right. Christmas artwork for our Christmas card. So hopefully a lot of our school children and religious ed kids will put that together.
One other thing from the bulletin, Father.
Yes.
Mary Beth, who puts our bulletin together, does such a fantastic job. But I think that our family should check out page 8. 10 tips for better meal times, like how to bring the faith alive in your family during mealtime. Bishop Frank Caggiano, the current Bishop of Bridgeport, said something a couple years ago that I really admired. He said, the way to bring back the faith in our culture is to reclaim the dinner table. It starts at the dinner table. That's, I think, where families are really strengthened. So our parish bulletin this week has 10 tips from Mary Beth, that Mary Beth put in there from Loyola Press to reclaim the dinner table and bring the faith into your family life at mealtime. So check that out too.
Yeah, so that whole page and the one before it, is it? Have different resources for families during this time.
Slow cooker barbecue chicken, kids activities for a video and directions on how to make coffee filter flowers. Parents, that'll save you another 45 minutes. Look, we're trying to help you guys in this pandemic.
And the page before, Tom?
Month of the Rosary, the guide to praying the Rosary, how to get kids to pray the Rosary, Holy Father Pope Francis praying the Rosary, and then 5 resources for your faith, especially for families. We got you covered, people. We've talked today in casual conversations about knowing the faith and making it come more alive.
We're giving you the resources. All you got to do is click, basically. Go to My Parish app, go to our website, get the bulletin, download it. It's there. If you come to the church between 10 and 12 on any day of the week, except Sunday, it's 9 to 10:30. You can grab a bulletin as you enter. The resources are there. We're trying to provide them for you to make your life easier. So please take advantage of that. Kevin Blyer wants to know, would you rather waffles or pancakes?
Great question.
Pancakes.
Waffles. Shocker.
Shocker, we're the opposite.
Father, we're getting an alert about a possible anniversary tomorrow. Happy anniversary tomorrow, Father Romans. Thank you for all you do for our school.
Also, that's the anniversary of the day that I was sent to Cheshire.
Oh, so it'll be 6 years tomorrow?
Do you ever go, John Rowinski, do you ever go to Mass for your own intentions? So, John, that's a great question.
That is a good question.
Certainly in the time of pandemic, we do not have a Mass without an intention. So we're always honoring the intentions that you all have provided that would normally have been honored at the public Masses. Yes, throughout the year, we do have the opportunity, like on a day off or, another day when maybe there's one Mass and the other person's doing a private Mass, you could do that for your own intentions or for a special intention for a family member or friend. So
I've said one Mass on a day off when I can, choose my own intention. I've said one Mass specifically for myself and for my priesthood because in the back there's a prayer there's a Mass setting for the priest himself. I've done that once.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Good question. By the way, Father, when you were answering that, there was a ton of likes and hearts for your anniversary tomorrow.
Oh, great. Thank you. I'm very honored to be here. And I don't want to say how long, though, because there's some people watching. Yeah, I already feel old because of Kevin.
Oh, right.
Patrick's
70 years since high school.
Years, yeah.
Easy, Patrick. You're going to get there someday, buddy.
Michael Federico, 11 pages. Actually, our bulletin's 13 pages of content
Get it right, bro.
and 3 pages of ads, so it's 16 pages. It's not 11. So it is one of the largest, at least in the state. I'm not sure about.
Also, full color.
And full color.
You don't always see that. And also, not huge blocks of texts,
Right.
which can sometimes be very difficult to read. It's very.
Mary Beth works really hard at trying to make it like a magazine.
It's a magazine.
Pleasing to the eye, easy to read, easy to find things.
So thank you, Michael, for shouting it out. And everyone can get our bulletin every week online because we are still producing a full-length bulletin every week during pandemic, as you said, thanks to Mary Beth.
Right. And it's not just this is canceled, this is canceled,
Right.
this is canceled. We're putting in real
Good
content.
point.
So, you know, a lot of bulletins out there just putting in events that have been canceled or postponed till after the pandemic. We're writing our stuff every week, Father and I, and trying to make it really accessible to you and helpful to you during this time. So please check it out, myparishapp.com, or text the number. It's in the bulletin. Well, you can be reading the bulletin online, and then you can text the number. Let me find it for you. I think it's 88202, but I'm not finding it right now. Victoria, do you know what it is? Yes, 88202. Look at that.
You knew it.
Text that. Text APP to 88202, and then get the app for My Parish app and download St. Bridget of Sweden. There's a lot of resources on that besides the bulletin, so please check it out, including our live stream.
This?
There's a button for live stream, so you don't have to go anywhere but My Parish app.
You want to spread the faith and talk about changing the misconceptions of the Catholic Church? People, spread this live stream video, as Father said. People have said to us, it's so great to see priests on a human level and learn that we're, real human beings too. Like, if you think that this is a way that people might come back to the faith, or if they had a bad experience with a priest and now this is a new opportunity for them, share this, post it, share it, download the Parish app, read the bulletin, learn the apologetics tips that we put in there every week. Like, you want to reclaim the faith, there's all this stuff available to you. And also send in your email addresses so that you'll know when we have something important to tell you. We need those.
And we
too.
send those to office@stbridgetcheshire.org. You send your family recipes to
Cookbook at stbridgetrectorycheshire.org/Fenway.
You send your name if you want to be an extraordinary minister of Holy Communion or a lector to frromans@stbridgetcheshire.org. And you send your love and your likes through the Parish app and through Facebook. I think that does it, Father. What do you think?
It's been a beautiful Saturday here in our living room. I feel like Mr. Rogers, coming to the end of our time together.
It's sad. You want to get the mirror out and start seeing who we see?
Yeah, let's do it.
I see Victoria.
Hey,
Huge shout out to her again.
Star of the show today.
For all that she does behind the scenes throughout the week, and for coming on live today, even in the midst of her lunch, to answer some very important and I think thought-provoking questions, and the way she handled that was with such grace and knowledge. So grateful to her for that. Look at all the hearts that she's getting right now. It's amazing. So people, we love you. We miss you. We'll be together one day. When is only in God's hands. Please don't ask. Don't send us an email asking when. But send us your email address so that we can email you when we know
it's
when.
ready. But don't ask.
You know what time it is.
It's time to say goodbye.
It's time to say goodbye and to
Go
take
for a
Fenway for-
WALK.
That's right. Enjoy this beautiful day, everyone. Thanks for being with us. May God bless you all. Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Amen. Bye-bye.